Now, if you follow my channel, you know I absolutely love the 2-in-1 convertibles from the HP SPECTRE X360 14 that I took a look at to what I'm about to show you today, which is a really good business-focused convertible that might just be my favorite 2-in-1 convertible of 2021. Yeah, it's that good. MSI just sent over the Summit E13 Flip EVO here for 2021 for me to check out. It's got a 13.4-inch Full HD Plus display that is bright, sharp, and absolutely gorgeous. It's a 120 Hertz display that really is fluid and smooth. I absolutely love it. It also has pen support. It comes with the pen in the box. You don't have to pay extra. It comes with a carrying sleeve as well. Nice value add there. Good performance out of that Core i7 1185G7 Tiger Lake processor, 11th gen from Intel. Comes in two colors, the pure white or the ink black. Both absolutely gorgeous. I have the pure white. I'm absolutely loving that stunning look. Let's find out if this indeed is the best 2-in-1 convertible here for 2021. Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and this is my review of the MSI Summit E13 Flip EVO here for 2021. Coming up. Now, while we take a look at the specs, I want to let everyone know, in the interest of transparency and full disclosure, I'm not being paid by MSI. I'm not being sponsored by MSI. All the opinions you're about to hear are my own. MSI is not getting copy approval. That means they're seeing this video for the first time, just like you. Now, this review unit is on loan from MSI, and once this review is done, I'll be sending it back. Now, you could pick this unit up over at Amazon, Newegg, and Costco. Now, sales are being run as we speak right now, so if you're interested, check out that link below for more information and where you can buy one. You're looking at around $12.99, and to me, when you see the specs on this and when you see the actual premium build, the gorgeous display, and all this brings to the table, this is a really great convertible, and I highly recommend you checking it out. And with the specs and pricing out of the way, let's find out what you get inside the box. Let's open it up. Now, I love the fact that they give you a laptop sleeve in the box. That's something that HP does a lot, and this is something I like to see, a nice value add right off the bat. You get a 65-watt USB-C power adapter. Of course, you'll use this to charge the laptop, and you also get the extension cord as well. The MSI pen is included at no additional cost. I like that, and it's a really nice pen. We'll go over that in just a little bit. You get some documentation along with some warranty information, and finally, you get the unit itself. Now, holding the unit for the first time, and I gotta say, wow, the build quality is off the charts. It is outstanding. I'm loving this pure white finish. Now, you could also get it in the ink black, but I really like the way this looks in terms of the white. It also gives me some SPECTRE X360 vibes with those diamond edge corners and the gem cut design style that HP was putting forth the last couple of years. This actually does look really nice. It looks very refined, very businesslike, but classy at the same time. All right, let's check out the port selection. Let's start off on the left side. We get one USB-A port and two USB-C Thunderbolt 4 ports that are full service. They do data, charge, and display out. That's good. And moving over to the right side, you get a kill switch for the webcam, which I absolutely love having because that gives you more security and privacy. You get a third USB-C port. Now, this one is not Thunderbolt 4, but it does support data and display out. Unfortunately, you cannot charge on that one. You can use the two Thunderbolt 4 ports on the other side to charge this laptop. And next to that is the tray that houses the micro SD card for you to expand out some storage. And of course, you get a 3.5mm headphone microphone combo jack to round out the ports on this laptop. And I think it's a nice blend of ports, and for a business-focused convertible, not too bad, especially for a thin and light laptop. Now, to get inside this laptop, you will have to break the factory seal, and you'll have to remove the screws. And once you do and pop off the bottom plate, use a pry tool. Be very careful. You don't want to break any clips or anything like that. And once you do, you'll be able to get inside this laptop. Let's take a look at what's user upgradable. And once inside, you'll notice the two fans for cooling. We'll get into the thermal surface temperatures and all that in terms of thermal throttling later on in this review. But you'll also notice that this has a pretty robust 70 watt-hour battery. That's pretty large for a thin and light convertible. We don't normally see that. We see in the 50s range, but this is a pretty large battery. I'll show you the battery life numbers that I did get in just a little bit. Now, as far as what's user upgradable, you as the user can upgrade the SSD, and that's always good. So if you need to get more storage later on, you have that option. Now, my review unit has 1 terabyte of PCIe Gen 4 SSD storage. That means it's the faster storage, and as you can see from these reads and writes, excellent results. Now, my review unit has 32 gigabytes of LPDDR4X RAM running in dual channel mode. Now, of course, you could also get it with 16 gigabytes of RAM, but I highly recommend going with 32 if you can. Having more RAM is always better in my opinion. Now, one thing to note, the RAM is soldered into the motherboard. That means you won't be able to upgrade it as the user down the road. Something to be aware of. And it has Wi-Fi 6E along with Bluetooth 5.2, both working well. I've had no issues so far. And one thing to note, that's also soldered into the motherboard. That means you won't be able to change out the Wi-Fi card later on. Again, something to be aware of. All right, let's talk about the display. My favorite part of this laptop. It is absolutely gorgeous. It is a 13.4-inch Full HD Plus display. It has a resolution of 1920 by 1200. And yes, it does have a 16:10 aspect ratio, which I'm a big proponent of, especially if you're a business user and you need to see more on the display. That taller nature will definitely help out. Now, that means you'll do less scrolling when it comes to web browsing, and you'll have more to see on spreadsheets and Word documents, and that's great. And it's a non-glossy matte display. That means you don't get any unnecessary glare or reflections, which are annoying, especially when you're trying to get work done. Now, MSI claims that this will get up to 500 nits in terms of brightness. Well, I measured even higher, 529 nits, making this an excellent choice for those who really like to have a bright display or to use it in both indoor and outdoor scenarios. You're looking at some really deep blacks, excellent white point, and it also has excellent contrast. It is also a color-accurate display with a 1.21 Delta E score. Remember, anything under 2 is considered color-accurate. And it does cover the color gamut pretty well. 100% sRGB, 72% Adobe RGB, 73% of the DCI P3 wide color gamut, and 68% NTSC, making it a decent choice if you do Photoshop, Lightroom, and of course, video editing. But putting those metrics aside, this is an outstanding display. Look at it. It just pops in terms of the colors. It has those really deep blacks that you really want. Excellent in terms of watching media, watching Netflix, Amazon, and YouTube has been excellent. Great movie watching device, that's for sure. And the other thing that I absolutely love about this display is the fact that this is a 120 hertz panel in terms of the refresh rate. That means you're going to get the really smooth scrolling. You're going to have a really fluid experience, especially when you're doing gaming. Now, but one thing to keep in mind when you're doing this on 120 hertz, that will eat up more battery. Expect 1 to 2 hours less battery on a full charge. So this is the front-facing camera on the MSI Summit E13 Flip EVO. It's a little bit of a mouthful, but it is from the Summit line. That's the business line from MSI. And I gotta say, super impressed with this laptop. Really good performance out of it. Love the aesthetics. Love this white color. It also comes in a darker color as well. But this is absolutely gorgeous. Loving the looks on it. What do you think about the 720p webcam? 30 frames per second. Is it good for your Zoom calls? Is it good for your work from home needs? Let me know in that comment section below. And by the way, that camera is an IR camera. That means you can log in with Windows Hello with face recognition, and it also has a fingerprint scanner located below the keyboard on the right side. Setup was easy and worked really well, registering my finger each and every time I used it. And this being a convertible means you can put this into the different modes. You got the tent mode here. This is great for recipes in the kitchen, consuming media, watching Netflix, Amazon, YouTube works well in this configuration. And of course, the same could be said of the stand mode. And you could always put it into the tablet mode, great for use with the MSI Pen. Now, speaking of the pen, the MSI Pen uses the Microsoft Pen Protocol 2.0, which is the same as the Surface Pen, and it worked well. 4,096 levels of pressure sensitivity. It's good for taking notes, sketching out artwork. It worked well in that regard. Now, this charges via USB-C, so you don't have to worry about getting any quadruple A batteries or anything like that. So that has always been good. I would say overall, the pen brings a lot of value to this, and it's included at no additional cost. That's always great. And yes, the pen sticks magnetically to the side of the unit, and I would say it's pretty secure. And I'm happy to report, for those wondering, yes, you can open the lid with one finger. Now, as far as the keyboard itself is concerned, I am really impressed with it. I like the tactile feedback. I like the key travel on it. And it does have a multi-stage backlight that allows you to get work done in a dark room or a dimly lit environment. But one thing to note, the keys light up white, and against these white keys, sometimes hard to differentiate or see the contrast. That's something to be aware of. And it has a glass precision touchpad that was very, very responsive. Two-finger scrolling worked really well. All the gestures worked well. And especially, as you can see here with the 120 hertz, everything was very smooth and fluid. And I saw some really good numbers when it comes to performance with this Core i7-1185G7, the PC Mark 10 score, which is a good indicator of everyday use. Really good score in that regard. Good single-core and multi-core score as far as the Geekbench 5 test. And of course, the Cinebench test really did well, especially that Cinebench R15 frames per second, scoring over 101 frames per second. That's impressive. Things like Microsoft Office, email, web browsing all worked well. Consuming media, watching Netflix, Amazon, YouTube, excellent on this convertible. Now, when it comes to gaming on this laptop, thanks to the integrated Iris Xe graphics, you get some pretty playable frame rates on some of the more popular titles, as you can see from these results. Of course, your mileage may vary depending on the settings you choose. And of course, you could always add an external GPU via one of the two Thunderbolt 4 ports to get even more graphics horsepower. That's the beauty of having Thunderbolt ports. And when I ran the Prime 95 stress test to see if this will thermal throttle under heavy load, the CPU would turbo boost up to 3.7 gigahertz for about 5 seconds to reach a core temperature of 95 degrees Celsius. Then it would drop down to 2.7 to 2.9 gigahertz to maintain a cooler temperature in the range of about 70 to 80 degrees Celsius. So not too much thermal throttling, maintaining pretty decent clock speeds. And the surface temperatures didn't get overly hot, only a few hot spots on the top of the keyboard and on the underside, but other than that, pretty good temperatures in terms of the surface. Now, MSI does have a really great performance control center. It's called the MSI Center Pro, and what it allows you to do is put it into the different modes. You got high performance mode, you got balance mode, you got silent mode, and you got super battery mode. Now, when it's on the balance mode, really the fans are very quiet, hardly kick in under heavy load, really maintaining a good quiet experience. But when you do put it under high performance and you can control the fan speed with that, you really can hear the noise of the fans kick in. Now, it does do a very good job, though, of cooling the laptop. So, of course, that is a trade-off. But you do get some pretty good performance in that high-performance mode. Just have to contend with the fan noise. But I love the fact that MSI gives you a lot of control as the user as far as the fan noise, temperatures, and all that. That's pretty good. Now, when it comes to battery, this has a 4-cell 70-watt-hour battery, and it did 11 hours and 12 minutes on my continuous web surfing test over Wi-Fi at 150 nits. So that means in real-world mixed usage, you're looking at anywhere from about 9 to 10 hours, depending on what you're doing. So your mileage may vary. Please keep that in mind. Now, the numbers I'm showing you here is with the 60 hertz panel selected, but with 120 hertz selected, which this can do natively, of course, you can expect 1 to 2 hours less in terms of battery life, something to be aware of. And if you do need to plug in, the supplied 65-watt USB-C power adapter supports rapid charge, giving you a full charge in about 90 minutes. Very good. Now, this does have two 2-watt speakers. They're high-res audio, and I gotta say I was very impressed with them. Now, they're downward-firing speakers that actually produce pretty decent bass, good mids, and overall good volume, filling up a room rather nicely. Very surprised, since we don't normally see this in a business-focused convertible having good sound. That's not the case with this one. Actually, pretty decent sound. All right, people, let's bring it all home. The MSI Summit E13 Flip EVO here for 2021 is probably my favorite 2-in-1 business-focused convertible so far here this year. And I say that because it really does check all the boxes. Gorgeous, bright, sharp 13.4 and 16 to 10 display that runs at 120 hertz. You're going to get the smooth scrolling, the really fluid experience. I absolutely love it, although you will sacrifice some battery life in that higher refresh rate mode. Sleek and modern design, of course, that is absolutely gorgeous with this pure white. You could also get it in the darker color, but I really love this white. The two Thunderbolt 4 ports add a lot of functionality to this in terms of peripherals, external GPUs, Thunderbolt docks, and the like, and of course multiple 4K monitors, etc., etc. The negatives here, not too many. I would say that the fact that it doesn't have an OLED option might be one, and the fact that you don't get a 4K option might be another, although 4K might be overkill on a 13.4-inch display. Now, the RAM is not upgradable, which I'm not a fan of. I like to be able to have upgradability, of course. That is one of my things that I've been harping on for the last couple of years. And of course, the fans get relatively loud under heavy load, especially if you're in the ultra performance mode. You will hear those fans, something to be aware of. But there are no deal breakers here, ladies and gentlemen. This has got to be one of the best two-in-one convertibles flying under the radar, really, here for 2021. You need to take a look at this. It's gorgeous. It's got great battery life. It's got 120 hertz display. It's a sharp, bright display, and it brings a lot to the table. I like it so much, I'm going to give this a score of 96%, earning my editor's choice for the 2-in-1 business convertible here for 2021, making the MSI Summit E13 Flip EVO definitely worth your money. So what do you think about this bad boy? The really gorgeous pure white finish on it. Love the design, love the gem cut design. Very similar to what we saw with the SPECTRE X360 14. And of course, the beautiful 13.4-inch IPS display on this. It's bright, it's over 500 nits. It's also a very sharp display, and it's a very fluid display with a really high refresh rate, 120 hertz native. Of course, you can keep it at 60 to get better battery life, but if you want that really smooth experience as far as the scrolling through the OS and the gaming, switch it on to the 120 hertz, it might be just worth it. Now, as far as the performance, Core i7 1185G7, integrated Iris Xe graphics, all worked very well on this. I like the control center on this. It gives you a lot of control as far as the fan speed is concerned. If you want a more quiet experience, you have that option. And of course, you could have that maximum performance to really let loose on this laptop. I absolutely love the control they give you out of the box, so that's pretty good. Now, as far as battery life is concerned, it has a 4-cell 70 watt-hour battery. It did 11 hours and 12 minutes on my continuous web surfing test. That was running at 60 hertz. So real world mixed usage with 60 hertz, you're looking at anywhere from 9 to 10 hours in terms of battery life, and again, real world mixed usage. But if you do go with that 120 hertz option, then of course you're going to lose about an hour to 2 hours battery life, just something to be aware of. Not a big deal for me because a lot of times I'm not out and about that much where battery life is a concern, especially on this laptop where battery life has been good in all scenarios. Now, pricing has been very good on this, and right now you can get it on sale. You can get it at Amazon, Costco, Newegg, and so forth. I'll leave a link in the description below for more information and where you can buy it. On sale right now, the lowest I've seen it is so far is $12.99 US. Considering you're getting that pen, the sleeve in the box, the gorgeous display, the gorgeous build quality, the rock solid build quality, and overall great performance out of this. I think you're going to really like this, especially at that price point. Now, if you are that business user on the go, this is a very intriguing option, especially if you want to have pen support, to be able to ink and to be able to take notes and so forth. All that is here, and it worked really well. Again, I want to know what you think. Let me know in that comment section below. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course my website, amdtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMD Tech. See ya.